When to you that point of over 3 hours, over 4 hours. You know the one I'm talking about. That point where you're not just pedaling anymore. You're on a journey. Not just a ride, not just another training session, but a journey into yourself, into your limits, and past them. That's what I call the long ride effect. And this is the part where science doesn't just make you stronger, it makes you smarter. See, I want to talk about something that too many riders, especially older riders, struggle with. It's that moment you're halfway into the ride, maybe more, and you're squinting at your heart rate monitor like it's a crystal ball, wondering if it's broken, or maybe if it's you that's broken. Look, I need to tell you something that maybe no one has told you in a way you could believe. You are not broken. You're just in the middle of something that's bigger than data, bigger than watts, and way bigger than that little flashing heart symbol on your bike computer. You are not alone. And I say that again because too many of us have felt that strange dip in energy, that confusing moment where your power drops, your heart rate drops, and your mind spirals. You think, is this failure? But it's not. It's actually a signal. A subtle one that takes time and wisdom to hear properly. It means you're doing it right. Let's be honest. For too long, heart rate has been treated like gospel. Like if it's not high, you're not trying hard enough. If it's dropping, something's wrong. But the truth is, heart rate is more like that annoying cousin who only shows up at weddings, drinks too much, tells awkward jokes, and then disappears for months. It's not the boss, it's not the truth, it's just a piece of the puzzle. Because here's the real truth, your heart rate is reactive, not proactive. It doesn't lead, it follows. It's influenced by so much: temperature, caffeine, sleep, anxiety, even the panic of not finding your bib shorts before a ride. And, especially as we age, our heart rate becomes less predictable than our ability to remember names. That cousin you forgot the name of? Yeah, that's your heart rate now. Your max heart rate naturally declines. That's just biology. That's not failure. That's not fitness leaving you. That's just the curve flattening. The ride changing. You're evolving. So don't panic when the numbers don't jump the way they used to. They're not supposed to. Yes, heart rate is useful, but it's not in charge. So what is? You, your awareness, your breath, your legs, your effort, and most of all, your consistency. That's where power and RPE come in. Power, if you have it, is your anchor. It's your truth. It doesn't lie. And if you don't have power, don't worry. RPE, your rate of perceived exertion. That's just as powerful when you learn how to listen to it. So when you go out for that zone 2 ride, don't aim for the ceiling. Don't chase the top of your power range like you're trying to prove something. That's ego. Ego doesn't build endurance. Consistency does. You aim for the middle of your zone. You breathe. You listen. You stay honest. And RPE. Oh, that's the magic right there. You should be at a 4 or 5 out of 10. You can talk, but you can't sing. You're working, but not suffering. Your legs are spinning, not plotting revenge. That's where the adaptation happens. Not in the pain cave, but in the zone. Zone 2. The quiet, humble, discipline zone. But here's where the emotion really builds. When you go over that 3-hour mark, that's when everything starts to change. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally. That's the long ride effect. That's the part where your power might start to drop. Your heart rate might sink. You might start to doubt yourself. But I need you to Understand? This is not weakness. This is wisdom. This is where the real growth begins. Because your body is shifting. You're burning through glycogen. Your plasma volume is dropping. Your blood's getting thicker. Your muscles thirstier. Your fibers, especially those slow twitch type 1 fibers, they're wearing thin. They're tired because you're doing it right. And when those type 1 fibers start to give, your body begins calling in the type 2 fibers. Those are less efficient, sure. They fatigue you quicker, but they also teach your body something new. They teach you where the edge is and then how to move it. That's not just endurance. That's transformation. Because what felt like a 4 out of 10 in hour 1, by hour 4, it's a 7 out of 10. That's not a failure. That's the signal. That's the moment you back off. Not because you're quitting, but because you're listening. You stay aerobic. You stay controlled. And you stay committed. Because when you recover after that ride, your body doesn't just bounce back. It rebuilds. It upgrades. It looks at what you've done and says, we need more type 1 fibers. We need more mitochondria. We need more capillaries, more oxygen, more endurance. You're not just getting fitter. You're becoming bulletproof. That's why Zone 2 training isn't flashy. But it's real, it's honest, and it builds something no ego ride can ever touch. It builds a foundation that can't be shaken, not by wind, not by heat, not by terrain, and definitely not by the panic of a low heart rate mid-ride. I want you to really think about this. Think about how you feel across your day. Are you the same version of yourself from morning to night? No. None of us are. There's highs, there's dips, there's fatigue, hunger, stress, joy, frustration. It's a wave. And so is the ride. You're going to go through phases. You're going to feel like a machine 1 minute and like mush the next. But that's normal. That's human. And if you learn to ride those waves instead of fight them, if you learn to trust the flow of effort instead of obsess over numbers, you'll find something deeper. You'll find yourself. That middle power target, it's your anchor. That 4 or 5 RPE, it's your truth. And that heart rate, it's just the weather. Look at it, acknowledge it, but don't build your house on it. Because sometimes, especially on those long rides, the heart rate drops, the power drops, and everything in you wants to stop. But that's not the end. That's the beginning of the ride that really counts. Because during those moments, your nervous system is tested. Your plasma, this magical fluid that carries nutrients, oxygen, and all the tools your body needs, it drops. And as it drops, so does performance. But it's not because you're unfit. It's because you're not drinking. You're not fueling enough. Because absorption slows down the longer you go. No matter what you eat, you'll never fully match what you're burning. But you keep going. You sip. You spin. You stay in the zone. You trust the process. And you stop trying to be flashy. Because that's not what this is about. This is about building something that lasts. This is about becoming a version of yourself that doesn't need constant approval or validation from a screen. This is about upgrading your engine, 1 quiet mile at a time. You see, the long ride teaches you something the short ones never will. It teaches you humility. It teaches you patience. It teaches you that success isn't loud. It's quiet. It doesn't shout. It endures. Every fiber in your body is learning how to survive, how to adapt, how to go longer. Not because it's easy, but because you stayed with it when it got hard. And let me say this again in case you've forgotten. Those numbers changing on your screen, that's not the signal to quit. That's the signal that you're doing it bloody right. You are not weak. You are wise. You are not falling apart. You are falling into place. And yes, the science is there. The plasma volume, the stroke volume, the lactate buildup, the shift in muscle fiber recruitment. It's all real. But you know, what else is real? You, your will, your effort, your consistency. You are stronger than you think, smarter than you know, and closer to transformation than you've ever been. So keep riding, keep believing. And when that doubt creeps in around hour 3 or 4, smile, because you're not at your limit, you're at your beginning.